pleasure to be here. Excited about the opportunities that lie ahead and the opportunity to play this 2020 season. It's been a good camp so far. The guys came in shape, and that's a testament to just the character of those young men. And we just look forward to season getting started.
Coach, you want to talk real quick maybe just about your position group and how they've looked so far and what your expectations are?
Yes, sir, Tim. Again, I've been very excited with just their preparation throughout the time that we're in quarantine. When I talk about their preparation, I talk about not just from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint. We were fortunate enough to be able to stay in touch via Zoom and talk through protections and things of that nature. To be honest with you, what we did most of the time when we were gone was just be there for one another and just kind of talk as men and help each other get through this time. But they've come back ready. They've come back prepared. Stephen Carr looks great. He looks as good as he's ever been since I've been here. He's really just to give you an example. I think, that was a tough injury that he had to try to come back from. Just looking at his vertical yesterday, getting the reports from the strength staff, it's increased 5 to 6 inches. You know what I mean? And you can see it. You can see his explosion on the football field. And just from a mental standpoint, I think he's focused and ready to take his game to a whole nother level, even beyond where it was when he got here as a highly touted freshman. Marquis Step has come back in that 225 to 228 range, which was huge for him, which was one of the steps that, one of the things that we challenged him to do. He's looked quick. He's looked explosive. We're bringing him on, at a little bit of a different pace to make sure that he's ready to go. Vavai, has come back from the knee injury. He's got a little bit of a hamstring strain that we're going to be patient with. And then, look at Keenan Kristen. Keenan's probably played last year about 172 to 173. Keenan right now is probably about that 180 to 183 range, which was huge and important for him just to hold up in some pass protection instances. And then Quincy Jonty, we wouldn't have made it through last year without him, and it's just a blessing to have a young man like him on your roster. And really unsung hero and a guy that's also coming back from an ACL injury that looks great and had a great camp thus far has been Easington. So, we got to walk on Matt Colombo from Bosco. Got to give Bosco a shout out. The guy can play. So, believe it or not, I feel like we added to an already pretty dang good running back room.
Thanks, Coach. Let me open to questions here. Ryan Young, you're first up.
For Stephen, how do you look back on the last few years, and then how would you say you feel now compared to maybe where you felt coming into last season?
Mentally, I feel way more stronger. Coach Jinks is preparing us to be prepared on the field from all angles. I feel like if you understand everything that's going on around you, it's easier to do your job. So I'm feeling excited about this year.
What's been the mental challenge for you the last couple of years, knowing the standard you set as a freshman and kind of trying to chase that ever since?
It's not necessarily trying to chase it. I would say it's just, just trying to be the better version of myself every year, no matter what goes on in my life or goes on or off the field. Just trying to be a better version of myself.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Adam Grossbard.
Stephen, Clay yesterday said that this is the best that you've looked of any camp that you've had at USC. What do you credit that to? Like, how did you, put yourself in this position?
I think it was with Coach Jinks and the rest of the running backs. We all come together as one. We can't play without each other, and it's just the rule of staying consistent. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to take it day by day, play by play, and make sure I execute my job as along with asking Mike Jinks or my running backs what, I can improve on.
How did you keep yourself ready when you were, preparing for the season away from everyone during quarantine?
Man, you had to get creative. You had to get real creative. I trained with Tyler Vaughns a whole lot. Me and him tried to stay on schedule, and I got a couple track workouts in just to make sure my form is right. I had to relearn how to run again, so that was a fun process to go through, you know.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay, Ryan Karchi.
Good morning, guys. Mike, I know Clay talked a little bit about just kind of managing the running back rotation and how there's a chance you guys could use multiple running backs in a formation at one time. How do you right now see that running back rotation? How close is it, especially among those four guys? And do you kind of just envision, again, a backfield that is going to be pretty even?
Well, I tell you what, and those guys will tell you, I've got an unbelievable room. Feel very fortunate. But we will, we've looked at some multiple back sets. We're going to get our best players on the football field. And to be honest with you, but all those guys they've earned reps. Maybe by through their production throughout last season, throughout this fall camp, and just throughout their preparation. We've got a room, kind of like Stephen alluded to, that those guys are one, and they I said it all last year, and I'm going to repeat it again this year. They get just as excited as one of their teammates has some success as when they do, and that again, that's a testament to those young men, to their character. It's not like that everywhere in the country. I promise you that. I will say this, but there's a challenge out there. I've challenged those guys, for one of them, to step up and be that alpha and be that guy, and I'm excited to watch them try to go get it. So extremely talented running back room, and we're going to find ways to get all those guys on the field.
And I know Marquise has been dealing with, just some injuries, even leaking into last season. How much has that potentially slowed down his development, or do you feel like he's still sort of on the track you would have hoped for?
I like where he is right now, as I alluded to before. Kind of challenged him to come in and set a weight goal. He hit it. And that wasn't an easy thing to do with the circumstances that we've had over the last few months. One of the things that might have been a positive coming out of our quarantine situation is that, as Stephen said, we had to find ways to be creative, even when we were going through our position meetings and things of that nature. And we were able to really step back and teach some pass protections and some things, and really kind of find out what they truly understood and what they didn't, and learn different ways to help them learn. And in that first few days at camp, I really saw him play with the confidence in which I hadn't seen before. We all know who he is when he puts that ball in his hand, but the confidence that he had and knowing his assignments and with his technique, it was exciting to see.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Mark Culkin.
Good morning, gentlemen. This question is more towards Stephen, but Coach, please chime in afterwards. Yesterday, Coach Heltman commented, Stephen, on how you're no longer dancing at the line. You're finding the hole and you're hitting it. What was the message that got across to you, and how it came across to you from Coach and from Coach Jinks to kind of maybe teach you how to train yourself to rerun again, like you were putting it?
I would say it would really just be watching old film, watching old games, seeing things that I didn't do, seeing things that I did do good. And I would say some of it came from watching Ronald Jones, his old clips. I would watch some of his clips before I go out to practice. He used to play here. He's a huge role model to me. And the way he hits the hole is in stride. You know what I mean? So I try to take after his game a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm just going to echo kind of what Stephen said there. He kind of got together, and we kind of talked about Rojo a little bit, and Kamara with the Saints, and just that's his growth as a young man. He wanted and was looking for guys to study and how he could improve his game and how he could make himself better. And again, a testament to him. He's gone out and he's applied it, and it's been really impressive. To be honest with you, to watch him move around this camp. And again, we got to continue to grow and continue to stack days and weeks together. But looking forward to the season.
Thanks for the answer.
Let's jump to Antonio.
Mike, how would you assess your group's comfort level with the offense now as opposed to what it was a year ago?
Well, once we got back to fall camp, they pretty much ran the first couple meetings. As Graham, often, alludes to is that we're execution-based offense. We've got a 3-day install, and that install does not change. And there's always a tremendous growth from year one to year two. I could, whether it be Stephen, whether it be Vavai, they can get up right now and they can break this thing down to its smallest nuance. The growth has been tremendous, and again, you see it in their play.
Okay, Ryan Young again.
Stephen, just overall, what is it you want to show or prove this year? What's kind of your personal goal to get out of this season?
To make sure me and my team, in these games, feeling how we need to be feeling. You know what I mean? It's different just to win a game, but it's different to feel the way you want to after a game. And personally, I just want to be more physical this year. That's really the only thing on my mind. I feel like the college world has seen a lot of what I could do when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield, making people miss. And I'm trying to show up a little bit more when it comes to pass protection. I'm trying to make that a huge emphasis. So just physicality this year. That's my only goal.
And then Mike, going back to Marquis Step, that ankle injury took a lot longer to heal from than he thought. I know I talked to him about that. Do you see him favoring it still in any way now, or is he totally the guy you saw pre-injury?
He's close. He's close. He's not where he wants to be just yet, but he's pretty dang close. And again, he's a young man, got a lot of football left ahead of him. We're not going to rush him into anything. We're going to be patient with it. But just being honest with you, I truly expect to see 30 out there when we step on the field versus Arizona State.
Thank you.
Adam Grossbard again.
Stephen, we saw that Reggie Bush was on campus for the first day at camp. Were you able, as a running back group, to meet with him?
No, we didn't get the chance to meet with him. I'm sure that day will come.
For sure. And just as an offensive player, what is your perspective on what you have seen from the new defense in these scrimmage situations?
Man, I love it. I feel like they're preparing us for a whole lot. I'm seeing looks that I haven't seen before. I don't know if I could spill the tea on here, but it's amazing, man. It's amazing the different type of looks. I didn't even know we could get these type of looks, as an offense. So it's amazing to add more to my notebook, and more to my awareness book.
Thank you.
Skylar.
Hey, Stephen and Mike, thank you both for being here this morning.
Yes,
something I would love to ask is, obviously these are really interesting times and it's easy to see the negatives. I would love to hear what gets you excited and motivated about playing in such an unprecedented season with everything that's gone on in the world and the whole nature of meeting on Zoom, and what advantages do you think you guys have as far as your play preparation and motivation going into this season with it being so unprecedented?
Well, I'll start there, Stephen, if you don't mind. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, and it's the love of the game, man. You know what I mean? Whether it be, watching these guys come out and the first day to yesterday in practice, there's energy, there's juice, and when something that you love is taken away from you, human nature, we tend to appreciate a whole heck of a lot more. And we watch it. You watched the Lakers winning the championship. You wouldn't have known that anybody's not there. You watched the Dodgers the other night. Man, you see the Dodgers the other night? Were they fired up or what? Huh? And it's been fun as a former athlete myself and a guy that's been coaching now for 28 years, just to be reminded that we play a child's game, and it's a blessing to do that. And we, I'm not saying we play it for free. I think that might be but we sure don't care if there's anybody in the stands or not. So for me to watch.
And on my end, I feel like it's not hard to be motivated out there, you know, and coming back, missing everybody. We just got back, I want to say, when in August, a little bit before that. Right now, I think everybody's still amped up just to see the guys, you know what I mean? Just to see what everybody's learned. I feel like everybody hasn't showcased what they have to bring to the table. Not necessarily because of they're not getting the ball, but we just got in fall camp. You know what I mean? It's a lot more to be shown. It's a lot more positions to be earned. And I think we're all just ready to see that, man. We're all happy to see that, regardless of if there's fans or not. We're here to play with our brothers. We love playing this game.
Yes, sir. Well said, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Eric McKinney.
Coach, I know kind of every season brings something new. Looking back at last year and sort of the injury struggles, everything you went through, what can you use from last year to help you in terms of, you know, anything you kind of learned or experienced moving forward into this year?
Well, you're only as good as the last guy in your room, you know, and, you know, Coach Helton, you know, you guys have heard him say that not just last season, but this season, especially with some of the obstacles that we may potentially have to overcome. I've got 7, 8 guys in my running back room right now. Number 8 has to be ready to play. And we took that approach last year. Had a freshman coming straight out of school. A lot of people thought he was just a track guy, and had a walk-on who I, you know, didn't know from Adam that we had to prepare. And we threw in there and we forced number 1 reps to him. And to be honest with you, but I wouldn't be here if they didn't get the job done last year. So we will continue to have that same mindset. Great question.
Okay, we'll go to Mark Culkin.
Yeah, real quick. Your guys' opinion, why are the offenses being so successful this early part of the college season from what you've been able to watch?
Tackling. I think those practices, most not having a spring ball and a limited contact period when we get back from fall camp. That's been the thing that's jumped out on the screen for me over the last few weeks or so.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan Karchi.
Mike, you mentioned Keenan a little bit and how he's added weight.
Yes.
Any other ways that he's stood out, especially over this camp session?
Well, not just Keenan. I got to give Stephen some props too, because kind of like I said, we've got a pretty talented room, and we're going to get them involved one way or another. And that may be them being on the field together at times, and not just using them in the backfield, but being able to play with some pace, and do some things creatively. And we're challenging those guys to understand when we call everybody. They know what to do when they get the ball in their hands. But let's say we call a pass play, you know what I mean? And you may have an option route, a check release, but what are we trying to do from a concept standpoint? Challenging those two guys to really grasp that in case we were to decide to, play with some tempo or what have you, throw them out at a receiver or whatever, and that would add an element to our offense. So that's been something that they've been challenged with, and that's where I've seen some tremendous growth and in both of their games. They both have the ability to do it.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan Young. I noticed that Vi just joined us, so if anybody has any questions for Vi, we have about 5 minutes left for that.
Stephen and Vi, I guess. I'm curious about the NCAA eligibility waiver for fall sport athletes giving you an extra year. Have you thought much about that, whether this is your last year or whether you're going to utilize that and view this as not your last season?
Me personally, not too much, man. I don't try to think in too much about all of that extra stuff. We got a season to play. We still have practice to go to today. I feel like getting caught up in all of that madness is just gonna take us away from our purpose and what our main goal is. I feel like that's a decision or something to think about after everything is already taken care of.
Sure. I'll go to Mike then real fast. Going back to managing the 4 running backs, how much time have you spent just creating scenarios in your head on how to utilize all of them, how to maximize all of them, how to get the most out of that group?
Not too much. Kind of like Stephen said, right now where we are is each and every day we're trying to find a way to improve, you know, and there'll come time for that. They've all, you know, they can all, you know, they've shown that they can all be an every down back. So it's kind of not one of those situations to where I want to just roll one in on third downs or this, have the other. Just we're going to continue. We're going to continue to compete, and the hot one or a hot 2 or 3 will be the guys out there playing.
Good deal.
Okay, let's go to Mark Culkin. It looks like Vi is trying to join. I'm not sure if he's on or not. So go ahead, Mark.
If I could join in. Stephen, to follow up on the answer that Coach Jinks gave, during practice, who's the hardest hitter right now? So when you hit that hole and you see the guy coming, you're like, this one's going to hurt. And maybe Vi can answer that question when he jumps in.
Me for sure. Just cause we have some time together, I'm gonna for sure say Zay. Zay Palomalu. He's a problem coming through that hole, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna sum it up as that. He's a problem coming through that hole. He comes through full speed. You know, he don't play around.
Vi, are you on? Yeah, it looks like he's having connection problems. I apologize.
No worries. Coach, in your opinion, who do you think's hitting your guys the hardest?
Well, they're doing a great job of swarming to the ball, to be honest with you. And hey, Stephen, Zay's always there because he's a free hitter and inside run, man. But you know, the defense is doing a great job in general. I mean, EA, you know, is doing a great job getting to the football. You know, he kind of jumps out to me a little bit, but really, the whole defense as a whole is doing a great job of kind of like Stephen said. You know, we want to play fast and all that kind of stuff, and air raid, this, that, and the other, and movement on defense or what have you. But at the end of the day, we want to be physical and we want to be a tough football team.
Okay, let's go to Eric McKinney.
Coach, you came up with that tackling answer pretty quickly. Is there something where you can kind of steer your guys to maybe take advantage of that, or is it just kind of business as usual?
No, it's kind of business as usual. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing, and great question, is that, you know, we want to be one-cut runners. You know what I mean? We want to be violent when we have the football in our hand. And what I don't want to do is have them think that the answer to that is more spin moves and, you know, more jump cuts. You know what I mean? We want to take it, you know, to our opponent, and you do that by being decisive.
Okay, it looks like that's all the questions, right on time. I know Coach has some meetings to get off to, and the players have got to get on with their day in classes. Coach Jinks, thank you for joining us. Stephen, great job. Appreciate you joining us also. And Vi, sorry we couldn't make the connection. A reminder, tomorrow we're on at 8 a.m. We'll have Coach Dante Williams and Elijah Griffin and Chris Steele joining us. So hope to see everybody then, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.